Hello and welcome to One on One. I'm Vernon Ramazar, and I'm pleased to say my guest today is Siewdass, who's an author and a business coach. He's the author, in fact, of How to Make More Money, Strategies for Financial Freedom, and he has a seminar coming up. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here.
I wanted to look at what was working and what was not working, and that's why I wrote the book. It's really to find out what works, what is easy to use, what is simple and works very, very well. And I went off the beaten path and looked at techniques that you can create in such a way that is from a person in the market to somebody who has a conglomerate can use the same thing.
To me, it would seem fairly kind of logical what you would want to do in business. Are there some things that aren't necessarily logical, or do you approach it from the level of, well, even though it's logical, perhaps you need to actually look at it and understand the steps and the rules?
What I tend to teach at the seminars is really, if you're using a basic simple technology like cash flow, teach them how to understand the difference between sales and cash flow, or different things like that, where people can understand, all right, if I make cash, what do I do with it, or where do I invest it, or what is the best way to, that's what we do at the seminars, really, to help people to understand that, the simplicity of it. For instance, if you have cash flow, most people think cash flow is a business foundation or a fiscal foundation or an investment foundation, and really and truly sales, cash flow that comes from sales is really and truly only sales. Because if you have something going wrong overnight, like a public relation issue, what happens is that a cash flow stops or it slows down. So we teach people how to get around things like these. You know, when you now go into the business, you're building your business and you have a wonderful time of fine-tuning everything, but you don't really go into the nitty-gritty of, okay, what is cash flow and what is these things that are happening around me, and why is my business not making. That's what we really focus on in the seminars: marketing, allocation of funds, cash flow, all these sort of different things that people ought to know.
Does it scale up quite well? I mean, I can imagine, I know when we hear about somebody starting a small business, quite often you'll hear them saying, well, yeah, I'm having a little bit of a problem with cash flow right now, because obviously they have expenses they weren't foreseeing, and sales don't necessarily cover those expenses early on. But we also heard not too many years ago, CEO Financial is saying it was a cash flow problem.
Well, what I don't ever teach to go with a large outlay of cash. I always teach people to do what you call seed capital, a small sum of cash, and grow that slowly. I prefer people take their business, let's just say you start a business, you started very, very slowly. So you work out the teething problems, you work out all those cash flow issues, you learn marketing, you learn how to sell. A lot of business people, actually, you would be surprised, don't know how to sell. They know how to do their business and their activity, but they don't know how to sell.